it's a white Tesla. No. This is what happened to my car. Look at this.
Here in Washington, driving to work for the last time in my Tesla. What matters is, doing the right thing. I think it's time to get rid of it. Elon Musk kind of turned out to be and I don't want to be driving a car built and designed by an
Elon Musk and his hackers don't know.
This is the one human on the world that can do it. He has 90% of the rocket technology, the one human that can do it, and Elon did it for us. And I just keep thinking, welcome home. And for them to land in the ocean, which is such a bounty of life, and to see those dolphins having been stranded in the nothingness.
I'm a technologist, and I try to make technologies that improve the world. One of the biggest functions of the DOGE team is just making sure that the presidential executive orders are actually carried out. I'm a technologist. When it's coming back, it's coming in so fast, it's a blazing meteor.
Yes, please, Daddy, spank me harder.
Some people are not content to just scream about Elon in a high school gym. They're taking to the streets or the parking lots.
Tonight, the FBI and ATF now investigating multiple cases of possible arson targeting Teslas and Cybertrucks.
This dramatic video shows multiple cars in flames. Police say the attacker used Molotov cocktails. It's the latest in more than a dozen instances of arson and vandalism targeting Tesla.
The same suspect shot more Teslas with a gun. Tesla Cybertrucks were set on fire in Kansas City, and earlier this month, shots fired at a Tesla dealership in Oregon. Cybertrucks on fire in Seattle.
Wow, you guys like petty acts of domestic terrorism, huh?
Wow. Don't ever vandalize Tesla vehicles. And so,
Hacking Teslas or dealerships, going beyond vandalism, that could be an act of domestic terrorism. But I do want to ask about this as resistance.
Birthday. And all I want to see happen on my birthday is for Elon to be taken down. Yes.
And that's truly profound.
Forgive me, but what's his end game? I mean, I know look, he wants to be the first trillionaire in the world. I mean, what's his end game here?
Well, you know it. You guys, you created him, Governor. I mean, you
By
guys.
the way, in many respects, California did. It was our regulatory process and our subsidies to create this market. You're 100% right. I think you're right.
Well, it's quite a long story. And there are some books that have been written about it.
Elon Musk.
You know what their attitude is? I made my money all by myself. How dare your government take my money from me? I don't want to pay taxes. Or, I built my company with my bare hands. How dare your government tell me how I should treat my customers, the land and water that I own, or my employees.
SpaceX founder, chief engineer, CEO Elon Musk. He now joins us for an exclusive interview. Elon, first of all, what a triumph to the human spirit, human ingenuity, engineering.
Angry voters on both sides of the aisle are speaking their truth to power in town halls around the country.
I am on the Judiciary Committee and the Natural Resources Committee.
And some Democratic officials are joining the chorus.
So I have to say that I was not a very good chief engineer in the beginning, but I did learn over time.
When can an unelected South African Nepo baby be capable to cut off?
Tell them how pissed off you are.
Will this approach get results or just bring nationwide tensions to the boiling point?
According to the book Elon Musk, Tesla, SpaceX, and the Quest for a Fantastic Future by Ashley Vance.
Iron Man. Elon Musk is doing things that may revolutionize transportation and climate change.
Staggeringly rich and staggeringly intelligent.
Wonderful, out of this world, incredible images from the first all-civilian orbit around Earth. A huge win for Elon Musk.
As a leader in science and technology whose name may indeed belong alongside those of Edison and Jobs.
And this whole idea, with Sonny Hostin, he's from South Africa. What's he supposed to do? Come out of his mother's womb and say, Ma, I don't like it here. We got to leave South Africa. I mean, this is so stupid.
Mega donor whose ex-husband
husband is one of Elon Musk's closest pals, so that sounds a little bit personal, but I'm not suggesting she's behind any of these fire bombings or acts of vandalism, but the destruction and the activism.
I can't walk past the TV without seeing a Tesla on fire. You're like, what's going on? Some people, it's like, listen, I understand if you don't want to buy our product, but you don't have to burn it down. That's a bit unreasonable.
Plus, in the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of.
Born in 1971, he grew up in Pretoria, a large city in the northeastern part of South Africa, just an hour's drive from Johannesburg.
I don't want to rely upon the benevolence of an Elon Musk who grew up in apartheid South Africa.
A pro-apartheid South Africa billionaire.
Elon grew up in apartheid, a violent period where frequent clashes between blacks and whites were common.
Why was it terrible?
It was very violent.
It was this history of violence that would besiege his childhood and was one of the reasons he left the country.
Spending 2 years suppressing black people didn't seem to be a great use of time.
May and Errol divorced when Elon was 9, after which Elon mostly lived with his father. Errol, on the other hand, worked as an engineer and property developer. But he became rich because he bought half an emerald mine for £40,000. And then that emerald mine later went on to become worth millions.
So I have to say that I was not a very good chief engineer in the beginning, but I did learn over time.
However, because his mom was Canadian, Elon was able to get Canadian citizenship, and he used this to start his university studies in Canada.
Which country is he loyalty to? South Africa? Canada? Or the United States?
While his wealth protected him in some ways from the turbulent reality prevalent in South Africa, his personality would often get him into trouble. Elon was something of a lonesome, gawky boy who preferred reading to sports and had trouble keeping friends because of his inclination to drift off.
You just really wanted to learn. So at an early stage you had that, and you had that inner drive yourself.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I just sort of, I got bored easily.
While life at school was challenging, life at home was equally as difficult. In his early years, he lived with both his parents, May and Errol Musk, along with two siblings, Kimball and Tosca, in Pretoria.
Well, this is, of course, back in the days before there were video games, and TV wasn't very good either. So, I was actually, for quite a while, the youngest and the smallest in the class.
But here's the really weird part. Errol and Heidi ended up divorcing. But then, just a few years ago, Errol, at age 71, and his stepdaughter Jana, at age 29, had a quote-unquote unexpected child together. But then they had another one, which means that Elon now has two other step-siblings, who he's also kind of an uncle.
Like, this is psycho. Stop being psycho.
It was a complicated marriage from the start. When Elon was 8, his parents separated. May took the family to Durban, along South Africa's eastern coast. Elon decided to move back in with his father after 2 years. While Errol's house had plenty of books, and he would cover expenses for Elon's inquisitive mind, there was a dark side.
He never tells us exactly what his dad did to him.
Here is where the family became fractured. Bouts of arguments, fighting, and violence. While Elon and Kimball declined to provide an exact accounting of what happened while living with Errol, they described the experience as challenging, and he's described his father as emotionally.
However, Elon and his father Errol no longer speak to each other, and Elon is on record as having called his father evil.
My father has serious issues.
Okay, well, so you didn't have a happy childhood.
No.
May Musk confirms these accounts of her ex-husband, saying I don't want to tell stories because they are horrendous. The violent realities all around them encourage both boys to retreat into their own fantasy world.
That is like South Africa at that time, even still today, it's it's very masculine, macho, sort of athletic.
For many years, Musk endured relentless bullying and beatings.
I was almost beaten to death, if you'd call that bullied.
As Elon states, that's what made growing up difficult. For a number of years, there was no respite. You get chased around by gangs at school. Then I'd come home and it would be just as awful there as well.
The fundamental weakness of Western civilization is empathy.
However, Elon also has several step-siblings. You see, his father remarried to a woman named Heidi Bezuidenhout. She had a daughter named Jana from a previous relationship, who Errol helped to raise. And then Errol and Heidi had 2 daughters of their own, named Asha and Alexandra. Here's an old photo of Elon with the 3 girls. These days, Asha keeps a fairly low profile, and Alexandra is the vice president of a company called Solar Window.
While his violent encounters during adolescence instilled isolation in him, Elon furthered his own self-education by engaging in interests such as making new video games and reading.
Books certainly were something that I found comforting, and I would read all the time, just all the time, morning to night.
Subsequently, Elon's highest grades were in subjects he was passionate about, like physics and computers. These interests proved progressive, including Elon's view in favor of solar power. Yet his mediocre grades in other subjects, coupled with his lack of interest in sports, rendered him unmemorable by most.
Solar Window.
Elon's view in favor of solar power.
At age 17, Elon Musk left his home in South Africa and moved to Canada, where he enrolled at Queen's University in Kingston, Ontario. During his freshman year in the fall of 1990, Musk befriended Naveed Farouk while living in the same dorm.
It's weaponized empathy is the issue.
Yeah.
Farouk, a Canadian who grew up in Geneva, bonded with Musk over their backgrounds abroad and their interest in strategy games, according to the book.
Which I think would be incredibly important in ensuring the long-term survival of civilization.
Farouk is Musk's known childhood friend, and he played a big role in who the tech guru has become. For example, Farouk recalled that when the strategy video game Civilization was released in 1991, the two spent hours playing together. Elon could lose himself for hours on end, Farouk said.
So that we've got civilizational suicidal empathy going on.
Justine Musk, Elon's first wife, told author Vance about dating Musk in college. "You always knew it was Elon because the phone would never stop ringing. The man does not take no for an answer. You can't blow him off. I do think of him as the Terminator."
They found all these kids that he went to grade school with, and I was really surprised. I mean, they said, like 2 or 3 of them said he was like the least likely guy that we thought would do anything exceptional.
When Elon had the chance to leave South Africa for Canada, he jumped at it. Canada would become the stepping stone for Elon Musk and shape him into the man he is today.